So I'm doing my Bible study and I'm reading Daniel chapter 3. And so it was just dope. It was just like a new revelation I got while reading it. So I'm gonna paraphrase this chapter. So King Nebuchadnezzar, which is a Babylonian king, took the Jews captive. And so Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego were some of the ones that were taken captive, but they was like the wise men, of Judah. So King Nebuchadnezzar built this statue that was 60 cubits tall and 6 cubits in width, which is equate to 90 feet tall and 27 meters in width. So he made a decree that when people are to hear these different musical instruments being played, that during that time they are to fall down and worship this idol. So the Chaldeans noticed that the Jews, whenever they heard the decree went off for the music being played, that the Jews were the ones that were not worshiping. They did not fall down and worship the idol. So they reported that to King Nebuchadnezzar. So when King Nebuchadnezzar got wind of that, he summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and asked them, was it true? And if they were to fall down and worship the idol, then everything would be, go well for them. But if they didn't, if they refused to worship the idol, then they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. So this is the part that had me like, oh yeah, I love they Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego spirit, the way that they responded to King Nebuchadnezzar. So I'm gonna read here where they said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If that is the case, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up. When I say it's the boldness for me, the integrity, the faith, the trust they had in God, just they was like, when I read this, I read it like with some attitude, like, first off, we ain't even got to answer you on this matter. And second off, nah, we ain't worshiping down and fall, serving your God. And if it's a problem, then throw us in the furnace then. We serve a God that he got our back, So I was like, oh yeah. Like in today's time, those who are walking, those of us, walking in Christ, this the type of faith we need to have. This the type of integrity we need to have. You know what I'm saying? This the type of integrity we need to have to set ourselves apart from, wanting to be a part of these worldly things that displeases God, that goes against God, that's going against the spirit. Like, this is the attitude that we are supposed to have with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like, some people will peer pressure you into wanting to do things, and nah, it can be family, friends, strangers, your job, your career. Have some integrity about yourself and be like, nah, at the end of the day, your job say, well, you need to get this type of vaccination in order to keep your job, or you need to adhere to the rules of, people pleasing to other people, what they want done. You either gonna go along with that flow, or you gonna have some integrity about yourself and be like, nah, because I serve a God. At the end of the day, I serve a God that's gonna have my back, that's gonna provide for me regardless. Don't give in. Don't give in to their way. So I'm gonna finish paraphrasing this chapter. So Nebuchadnezzar was infuriated the way that they responded to him. So he ended up telling his men to turn the furnace up 7 times hotter than what they normally have it. To the point where I was like, dang, he was pissed. He was pissed off. He turned the furnace up 7 times hotter than what it normally is, to the point where when they tied Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego together, from their turbans, their outer garments, their trousers, like they it was like, we tying y'all everything together. But when they did that, and they was leading Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego up to the furnace, like several of King Nebuchadnezzar's men fell down and died because the furnace was extremely hot. I feel like that should have been the first sign right there. King Nebuchadnezzar should have been like, oh, wait a minute. Like, some of my men just died, but nothing happened to these, these 3 Jews. But some of my men just fell down and died because I turned this furnace up so high. But, due to his hard heart and him being infuriated, because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was insubordinate to him, he was like, they gonna go by any means necessary, even if I gotta lose some of my own men, like, I'm gonna get rid of these 3. And so it says, I'm gonna go down here to verse 24. It says, then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and he rose in haste and spoke, saying to his counselors, did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said to the king, true, O king. Look, he answered, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar, he went near the fiery furnace, and he spoke to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God. He said, come out and come here from the midst of the fire. And the satraps, the administrators, the governors, and the king's counselors gathered together, and they saw that Shadrach, Meshach's bodies had no fire, that the fire had no power over them. Their hair on their head was not singed, nor was their garments affected, and the smell of fire was not on them. So after that, like, King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished after that, like, wait a minute. First off, we tied them up, and now they down here, they loose. They're no longer bound together. They're no longer tied. And then it's like an angel down here with them. Like, wait a minute. Their God ain't playing about them. So even after that, when King Nebuchadnezzar seen that God was with Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, he made a decree. Now look how he done turned the table. He said, therefore I make a decree that any people, nation, or language which speaks anything amiss against the gods of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made an ash heap, because there is no other God who can deliver like this. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. See, what was meant for evil turned out for their good. Not only did God come and deliver them, his glory was manifested. He protected them. Through Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's faith, trust, integrity to God, he was there with them. It said that they didn't smell like smoke. The fire had no power over them. Their clothes was not singed, like nothing. Like, God was letting it be known, like, okay, it's like God would take certain situations when we feel like our lives are in a fire, when we feel like we are like, oh, this is just too much, God. Like, I'm suffering here. I'm doing bad. People, talking about me. They looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm saying that I'm following God, but yet nothing seems to be going right. Nothing seems to be falling into place. So they like, why am I worshiping? Why are you worshiping this God when, being holy and thou, or being a Jesus freak that they like to call it, and nothing is working out. You don't lost your job, you don't lost your home, all sorts of things. Your health may be failing, but you in that furnace. But the whole time, the angel of God is there with you. See, God gonna work things out in his timing. For those that are non-believers, they gotta see his glory. Some people don't believe until they see with their eyes. So sometimes, those of us who are walking with Christ and really walking in obedience, really like about God, your lack, what you are lacking, and what you are going through, what you are facing in that furnace right now, God is going to get the glory. He's going to turn those naysayers, those who's talking all that negative stuff and down on you, he's going to turn it around to where he is going to be glorified. They're going to see you being catapulted in higher positions. They're going to see you living in that brand new home. They're going to see you catapulted in a better career with peace, with all of this peace. So keep your integrity, your faith, your trust, and believe in the Most High God, because he will never leave nor forsake you.